Well, this is what we are up to here today. We've got this 9410 in here, and what we have to do is tear the rear end out of it. The other day, Jared had noticed that there was a puddle of oil underneath this rear portion of the tractor. He thought it was a hydraulic hose, a fitting, a line, or whatever. So he tore the PTO guard off, got searching around on it, and had discovered that the differential on the input shaft side of the differential was leaking. And he said, well, that's not good. So he brought it back to the shop. While he was bringing it back to the shop, he could feel it vibrating, and it must have a bearing gone in that rear differential. So we have to tear that out. This tractor has got 13 or 14,000 hours on it. It has not been taken apart yet. So we're going to do brakes and all that stuff, axle bearings, and what have you. Now, it is raining out here now, as you can see, and we haven't gotten rain in about 3 weeks. We have a pile of work left to do before we get into chopping corn. And this is one of the jobs that kind of put itself front and center on the list here. We've got blade frame to put on a 9520 yet, and we've got to finish putting seedings in. I was working on getting seedings in, and we asked Jake to do this job because we didn't think we were going to be able to get to it. Now it's raining. And we might as well help him on it, or he's going to help us, or vice versa. So 3 of us are going to be working on this for the most part. We got to get it tore down, get the differential out, and so on and so forth. Got to take the duals off, and we got to kind of split it down the middle here as far as getting everything separated off of it. So the first thing we need to do is we need to get the wheel weights off. We feel that's going to be the easiest thing to do to get the studs out of this dual. So we're just going to come in with the forks, pick them off in there, take it off in one pick. So we've got Andrew Whitaker. He's going to be helping on this project as well. And Jake should be here in a while, unless he's got an emergency call to go on. I had him figured for this. I did not want to cancel him. So we're going to get right on this here. Well, we've got the wheels removed on this, and I think that was the hardest part of this, or going to be the hardest part of this job. What a pain in the ass. But we're getting the oils drained, and then going to work on getting the PTO off and getting the differential unbolted so we can drop it down out of the frame assembly here. go straight back, or do I gotta go down?
Back off just a touch to get this bolt out. Alright.
Big bolt off still.
Are you on the way in case this tips?
Alright, watch yourself. Down a little.
You go down a little more.
Keep going down. You got 6 inches. Down.
Clear out
That
this
loop
side.
line is removed, right?
Yeah, drop there.
Everything's good.
Open up. You're hitting back brake. We're down. Let you go straight down.
You're clear at the drop.
Now you're good. Go. Watch the barrel.
This won't sit flat on the floor as there are fittings underneath it.
It'll sit flat.
Yeah, there's
No
no
fittings?
No.
Alright, so the differential was the last thing that came out. We've got that removed. Just washing that off now. And then we're going to start the disassembly process of it. Whitaker's getting it all washed off. So that was the problem. It was leaking oil out the front side. So we've got to get the final dries off of it. We'll get the front cover off. Take that payloader up and put it away. There is quite a bit of shit on the bottom of it. Hello? Hey, pretty good. What's going on?
Good.
yeah.
Yeah, we're screwing around with a differential on the tractor right now.
Take a look at it.
Okay. Okay, very good. Let's move this so it doesn't fall on your hand and cut your finger.
pork.
So they've got this top cover off, or the front cover off of this differential. Seal and the bearing are gone in it. And then now what we're going to do is pull the final drives off, because as long as this is out of there, it might as well have new brakes. Nathan says it doesn't need brakes because he doesn't use them. But we probably should do them as long as we got it apart, right? So we'll go ahead and rip it apart.
Down the road, probably okay.
Well, this is where we are at on this project here. Jake has the seal and bearing put in the front cover of the differential. He's got that shimmed correctly. There's a procedure that you go through. On that, we have the final drive removed from the right-hand side of the differential. We've got it sitting on its back here now. And we have the bearing and axle assembly removed from the final drive housing. Now this is a stand that belongs to Side and Stricker. It allows you to put that axle up vertically to get everything apart. Jake and Whitaker worked on getting this stripped apart, and then this can go back together. This stand doesn't match our fork, so we're gonna have to bring a skid steer in or put a couple of tubes in there and put weight on it so that when they go to torque the preload on that axle bearing, the damn thing doesn't turn. I think Jake said that requires 700 foot-pounds of torque. We need to build one of these because we have sent the axles over to, well, it was Kaz Equipment, but a Side and Stricker to have them do it because they have the stand, and obviously it is a piece of, I think it's 5-inch pipe welded to that plate. And yeah. So that's where we stand with that. Whitaker removed the front yoke off of the gudgeon, the shaft coming through the gudgeon here. So we're gonna pull that out, put a new bearing on that so that when this goes back together, that'll be all new. And new brakes, of course, are gonna be getting into this here as well. They're not in all that bad a shape. There is quite a bit of material still left on here. There's some chunks missing and whatever, but that is about normal. So we'll get after things here. Alright, these guys are kind of waiting for me. We used some weld to weld on them inner races, and then once that cools, they'll fall out. They got their bearings setting on the axle shaft, and you guys are just waiting for me, right?
Yep.
We got to put the seal in there.
That can go after.
That can go on after?
Yeah.
The seal wouldn't work now anyway.
No. Yeah, you're good.
the hoops.
Yeah, this is stay on now. We'll have that on and off a few times. The planter.
I mean, so this doesn't turn, we could just put the clevises in there to the forks
Oh yeah,
to
yeah.
keep it from turning instead of getting the skid steer over here.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do? Is he gonna set right on?
Should slide right in, yeah.
What's your fastener
What do you mean?
that's going down through?
I've got one here. It should just drop right down.
It's gonna drop on and we're not gonna have anything in the way.
No.
There, it's there.
Well, that's stuff. Maybe get it all the way down.
I wanna say it is. Yeah. It's all the way down.
Okay.
Okay. What about, is there shims that go in there?
Yeah, but first you got to do that baseline rolling drag.
We gotta lift it off.
So that fork can kick over or in, maybe the
How are you, I'm just looking at the clevis?
well, the pockets are right there. If you just get this fork all the way in, and it'll catch it anyways. Just slide.
All right, the new bearings are installed in this axle housing. Now Jake's got to go through a procedure of preloading the bearing itself. What do? You torque it and then you find out what it is and then add the shims after? Is that-
Yeah, you get your baseline reading of your rolling drag and then put those lead balls in there, crush that down, get your shim pack. Put shims in, then you gotta add or subtract shims as needed. And I figure this thing will be on 3 or 4 times before we're all said and done.
How much does that torque wrench go up to?
This goes up to 600.
And then you got a torque multiplier too, or
I've got a bigger bar.
a bigger bar? Yeah, all right.
I think the torque when you're all done is close to 700 maybe. I did the look. See if this rolls.
All right, so that is the procedure for this. What torque are you looking for while you're doing that? What's it got to be on that little gauge?
There's a wide range. You just need to know what the initial unloaded rolling drag is. Right now it's about between 10 and 15 Newton meters, which is, I can't see the numbers in American. Yeah, we'll go with 15. But it spins pretty easy right now. And then when it's all said and done, it's gotta be a certain amount
Of drag, yeah.
yeah. So I'll get this back off and then put those lead balls in there and
What's the idea of the lead balls exactly? That'll let you know how much shim?
Yeah, that'll,
how many
so
shims?
you put two 180 degrees across from each other, and then you take the average of those two thicknesses, and that's your shim pack.
Oh, okay.
That's your initial shim pack. You torque it down to a certain torque, and then that's usually puts you pretty close. You might have to add or subtract one or two shims, but it'll put you close.
So the balls are just used to
They're
get
just
it
basically
in a
plastic
ballpark.
gauge on an engine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That one we did for the 81 time, we set it in by hand. Remember that?
Oh,
For 8120.
yeah.
Alright, right there.
Down a little bit.
Yeah, you go down a little. Okay. Okay.
And these are these balls that he's setting on there.
Try to get them. I got corn head grease on them. I should be using some heavier grease. Make it stickier. But that's about. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just set this down carefully
And smush them.
push it. Yeah.
Hold on a second.
You go down a little more.
There, it's there. Okay, down. Okay. All right, it's got to be at 40 foot-pounds, is that right?
Yeah.
Meters, right?
Yeah.
40 Newton meters.
Did you check it? Yeah, that's it.
So he set the tool in there. They've tightened the inner bolt down a little bit, not much. They're getting the squish factor on that lead balls that are in there, because they don't want to go too tight. And then what they're going to be able to figure out, they've got to go, you got to go a little tighter.
Yeah, it's close. Yeah. It's going
So
under
they've
50.
got to tighten inner bolt down just a little more.
Yeah.
Checking rolling resistance again.
Yep, that's just over 40. That's where we want it.
So now what they'll do is they'll take the bolt back out, lift the planetary off, check our balls, make sure we still have 2 balls, and then measure them. Alright, so that's what these guys look like. They're gonna be a fair amount of shims then, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they'll measure the balls, put the proper amount of shims in, put it all back together, torque it to the recommended amount, check the drag again.
Yep. Hope you're right the first time, and
Yeah. So you could do it without the balls. You just have to, you'd have to take it apart more often.
yeah, you'd have to get real lucky, I guess.
Yeah. So.
Move it out of the way over there.
You leave it right there, put it right back on there.
All right. Well, I'm working on getting this other final drive out now, and then we can do the same thing, same procedure to this side, and then we'll show you what the procedure is going to be to get the gear lash for the cone and the spider gear, the differential gears to come together. So